What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Marley Dog Radio Show. I'm Roddy.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Kwame.
And this week we're going to be covering some, of course, as always, you can't see her on the video probably, but Marley's sitting here with us, laying down on the carpet, as she always is. But, yeah, guys, so how you been this week?
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been, doing nothing literally all week.
Except Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Are you still playing Pokemon Go?
Not currently.
Are you sure? All right, I was just making sure. You never know. How you been, Kwame?
Been pretty good. We linked up and played Pokemon Go for a little while. And other than that, getting my nerd on.
Trying to get Kwame to catch up.
Yeah.
Did you ever fling him that, what was it? Floki or whatever?
Froakie?
Froakie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
You gave him that Froakie?
Oh, of course I did.
Did you tell him the harsh truth, Joe?
What's the harsh
About
truth
how many
on me?
Froakies you've caught and you didn't want to tell him?
Oh, dude, it's so many.
He's caught upwards of 100, he said.
Yeah.
And
it's
he's like, I
closer
didn't want to
to-
tell Kwame and make him feel bad because I'm pretty sure I used that soundbite for the trailer. I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh, man. Do you just have a Froakie you could just fling my way? Yeah, so this week, not sure exactly what we're going to start with, but we are going to get around to talking about the Derek Chauvin trial this week, or the last 2 weeks that was held. For those of you listening who are playing the home game or you just part of the peanut gallery, Derek Chauvin is the police officer that was involved with the George Floyd murder, and I would say George Floyd case, but he has been declared guilty.
On all charges, which was really surprising
That he got 3 separate charges, like one on top of another, as if there were 3 types of murder.
And it's, all the freaking people talking about it, speculating, waiting for the jury deliberation just because they have nothing better to talk about. It's like,
Well, I guess this
nobody
is what we're starting
expected
with.
them to convict him.
Dude, I don't know. I was hoping for the best, but maybe it's because of the verdict. I just felt like that's what was going to be the whole time. But, with the racial injustice that happens in this country more times than not, and I'm just speaking from my own viewpoint here. I'm not trying to get political, but, it was rather surprising that he was able to get convicted, especially on all 3 charges. You know what I mean? Because some people were arguing online, of course, the place everyone argues because they're behind a screen and a keyboard, but they were arguing that it was unfair they slapped him with 3 charges. Because what were they? It was like one was a second-degree manslaughter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was the most serious one.
Now, what were the other 2 charges?
Second-degree murder, manslaughter, and... Let's search, Rodney.
Well, anyways, while we have you all on for a moment, and I'm just sitting here watching these 2 diddle with their phones.
I'm looking at this thing that just popped up from TMZ.
TMZ.
This morning. So apparently Derek Chauvin also had brutalized a 14-year-old black teen when he went to arrest this teen because apparently there was a report. A woman had called the police for help after she said she was attacked by her 14-year-old son and daughter. When Chauvin arrived, he ordered the boy to get on the ground, and when he refused, Chauvin allegedly hit him with a flashlight as he grabbed his throat. The hit was so severe that the boy needed stitches, and then he proceeded to do the same pin to which he killed George Floyd.
Was this prior or post George Floyd?
This is 2017.
Okay, so this was a few years beforehand.
Right. It's they actually, I think, mentioned that in the news during the trial. It's I think that it was a big thing whether or not to even allow that in the evidence for the murder trial.
Wait, so was that used in his trial?
I can't tell you which way they chose to go with it,
But it was brought up for
brought
George
up.
Floyd's trial.
Yeah, it's so he is 2nd-degree murder, 3rd-degree murder, and manslaughter. And the 2nd-degree murder is unintentional murder. So he has 2 separate murder convictions for one murder, which is interesting, I guess. It's maybe because he did it when he was on the job, or I don't know how they really did that.
I mean, all that aside, I can't honestly say, because I'm not in his head, what his aim was at that moment, or I mean, because if you look at the video from George Floyd, which by the way, I've only been able to watch that once. Like I was gonna watch it again, I can't bring myself to do that. But
Yeah.
the look he's giving the camera holder in that video who's filming it on their phone, like he had that same look most of his trial and shit. So he's gotten really good at composing himself. Although at the end, I really thought, like Joe said, like he believed he was going to get off, because I don't know if you saw the guilty verdict, but it just homed in on his face the whole time. And he was sitting there, his eyes were shooting back and forth, but he still had that eyebrow and scrunched forehead look he had during the whole thing. So I think he's gotten good at keeping his composure, which is why I could say I honestly could believe that he meant to murder George Floyd and acted like he didn't know, but like at the same time, I mean, it's just that confused look he gets. But I think he's just learned how to put on a good face, because his eyes told a completely different story of what was going on in his head when he got the guilty verdict. And
He just sounds crazy to me. Like,
It is crazy.
eyebrow cocked, eyes darting back and forth, and he's just like, "What? I'm guilty? Like, yes, bitch, you're guilty.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, what did he think was going to happen, dude?
yeah,
And
like-
just the way that it never happens, people that support him are so totally dumbfounded by it. They're even like, I like how Fox News is the only one that isn't covering the conviction, but like immediately jumps to, oh, all charges are going to be dropped in appeal because protesters outside the courthouse had intimidated the jury.
Yeah, well, I
That's
did
dumb.
read
That's
read
so
into a little bit
so
about
dumb.
that. I mean, like you do know he also tried to get an acquittal, right? Like they did suggest an
Yeah.
acquittal, and the judge shut that down pretty quick and denied it. But it's
Yeah.
just like the whole fact of the matter, dude, is like instantly he was trying to like just he really just genuinely believed he was gonna get off of this, and that's what's kind of alarming. And like Joe said just now, with all of like the people that support him, how they're dumbfounded. It's alarming, in my opinion, that all those people are that dumbfounded. It's just like,
Yeah.
have you not seen the video? It's like, you tell me a video where that much has been caught of them arresting a white person and stuff. Not that like it hasn't happened, but like to the extent of where this man passed out and pissed himself, and like officers still just wouldn't help. And then you have the other 3 officers, and their trials are coming up. The one, what was his Tao, Thao, like Tu Tao was his name or something. They showed bits and pieces of his interview, or I'm not sure if it was interview, interrogation, something like it. It was in a police station, but he was talking to them. And when they asked him, it's like, where the bystanders saying that he needed to get off, you need to check him. And he's like, yeah, they were. And he's like, did you check him? And he just said, that wasn't my job. And it's one of those things, man. It's like, I understand where like police have a job to do and they have to do it professionally, but to the point of this guy passed out and pissed himself, and you're not going to check him to see if he's okay.
yeah.
Like, is that just me? Like,
And just how confident and sure he is of himself while doing it, with just total disregard for the fact that there's a human being underneath of him.
it just the whole case. I'm just gonna leave my opinion with this much. Like, I am happy he got slapped with those charges, and I can see where the second degree, second degree murder. Yeah, and
Yeah.
manslaughter was a separate charge. Yeah, second degree murder with unintentional murder. I can see why they gave that to him, but even then, I honestly think that was them being a little generous with him. But like, he's still looking at time,
Yeah.
and I feel like he is in big trouble once he gets in there. He's gonna be a high profile inmate.
Oh yeah.
He's already confined 23 hours a day in isolation. He's too much of a risk for general population.
Dude, he's gonna go fucking nuts in there. Like, he's gonna get crazier than he is already, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
It looks like with the way sentencing might work, he might wind up with being only sentenced to the most serious charge of second-degree murder.
So these can still be overturned.
Well, no. Just only, like, he would serve the sentences congruently. So 15 years for manslaughter is up.
Oh, so he's
you're
got
still
to do
in,
them.
like-
It's not all as a whole for
Right,
the
it
years
won't
right
be
now.
15 plus 20 plus 40. It'll be the 40
Only the
years
40
for the
straight.
maximum charge.
Well, that's considered
And
life,
honestly,
correct?
like, police officer stuck in isolation, you can't help but to behave, really. He'll probably get like 15 years knocked off of that, maybe. Like, he's gonna wind up doing like 15 to 25, honestly.
They're probably gonna put him out on parole.
It's quite
um,
possible. I
yeah.
could believe that. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they pulled something like that with a high profile a convict like that. kind of like the whole Casey Anthony case and how she got out. And she was also, as far as I know, fucking her lawyer at a certain point. But that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I don't even know much about that.
That's about as much as I know, other than she killed her kid.
Yeah.
Not to get dark,
Yeah.
but either way. Well, since we got that out of the way first thing, is that a good beverage? No, sounds pretty good. I can hear you.
Why would you
chugging
drink it if it's not good?
Oh yeah. It's just water, guys. Chill.
What kind of water?
Some groundwater.
Oh,
I don't
tap
know.
water.
Yeah.
Sipping
You
on
sick
some
fuck.
groundwater.
From the ground.
I can't drink tap water, man. I'm scared of it.
Tap
Nah,
water.
like the freaking we have like a really awesome filtration system that also has like a UV light built into it and shit. And yeah.
So
It's
what
fancy.
you can see all the bug sperm in the water, the UV light, is that what it's for?
Well, it's to kill it, but yeah.
Interesting.
Do you see it in the process of being killed, or
No, it's in like a steel container in microscopic quantity.
you never know?
What kind of water do you drink, Kwame?
I drink water from a water cooler for the most part. So
From a water cooler.
yeah, we have a
With
water cooler in my
macroscopic
house.
organisms in it.
Oh. I thought you meant like an igloo cooler or something,
No.
like where you can bring the tap out on the side. I was like, wait, you fill up a cooler at your house and you drink the water out of that. I was like, hey,
No,
teacher.
Rodney, I go to the well and I get a goddamn bucket. I bring the water home. I trek miles, goddamn it,
For a single bucket. The bucket's not even gallon sized.
We have to sip
Tiny little sand bucket.
small, tiny sips
Oh,
day in, day
man.
out.
But yeah. Also, for those listening, not that it really matters at this precise moment, but by the time you hear it, you'll see the difference in time frame of when we post these. Today, we finally go live on Spotify and Apple with our first episode.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
awesome.
let's go.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Too bad no one's gonna listen.
No.
Well, if they were, they're gonna stop now.
This was a pleasant episode. I'll be going home now. No.
Later, Kwame.
You got to skank all the way to your car, though.
Oh.
Do you want to leave still? How can you want to
No.
leave while you're skanking? It just makes you feel so happy.
Y'all are gonna hook me back in with some random ska music, and I'm just gonna turn my happy ass right back around.
Oh man.
What?
So, Rodney,
What?
what have you been getting into all by your lonesome up on the mountain?
What have I been getting into this past week?
Mhm.
Well, we've been having someone, a fine gentleman named Diego, I think, from Argentina, drawing us up a graphic this past week to be the official logo or whatever you want to call it for the podcast. So, just been waiting around that, watching a lot of YouTube as I usually do. I found this new interesting YouTuber called Plagued Moth, dude. He's gone up from like 500 subscribers like 4 months ago to 50,000. So like he's a new up and comer, and he covers really interesting subjects like controversial, dark things, but he has like a very, very level mind the way he explains all of it, and he cracks a joke here or two. But he's really interesting. I like, and he's covering like a lot of current stuff, like the was it Twitch TV? What was it? I forget the name of the guy, but it was in Russia. It was the guy who poured cold water on his girlfriend, pushed her outside in sub-zero temperatures because one of the watchers on Twitch tipped him $1,000 to abuse his girlfriend. She was pregnant. He pushed her outside in cold, freezing water and just like her pajamas or whatever, and ended up killing her.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you,
horrible.
You can even tell like this guy does mostly dark stuff. It looks like.
yeah. No, he's interesting though. He's like very sound of mind and stuff.
Reminds me of the little serial killing unit that was going around when we were kids. I don't know if you guys ever got on 4chan and saw those videos.
Was this recent or in the just last few years?
This is probably like a decade and a half ago.
So it's like you're
or a
looking into
decade
the
at
olden
least.
days of 4chan, like when that guy stole the fucking skull from the catacombs of Paris and fucked it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
That really 4chan.
Yeah. But no, most of us that were in that time or went through that phase of 4chan during that point in our life, stumbled across some fucked up videos, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Ron.com, the YNC, all that. Like the original shock sites. 4chan was pretty much a Reddit shock site. a very, very heavy version of one.
Yeah. And there's this fucked up
Definitely
video.
out there.
Yeah. I think it was called A Man and a Screwdriver or some really fucked up
One
shit.
lunatic, one screwdriver.
I think that's
that was the
video.
Luca Magnotta case.
What
Yeah.
the F?
Have you seen the documentary on Netflix, Don't Fuck with Cats?
No.
It was about,
I've seen or heard of it.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so I'll cover this a little because I actually knew about Luca Magnotta prior, but like only seen his picture on Google Images and stuff, and like he was a internet serial killer. But long story short, I never dove too deep into find. I just knew his face. Well, we started watching this new documentary, or I started watching it called "Don't Fuck with Cats," and it's going over the opening is this woman talking about the rules of the internet. Don't do this, don't do that. Rule this, rule that, and that. And she's like, "In rule 0, don't fuck with cats. Cats are pure. The internet." That we love cats. We're literally the embodiment of ancient Egypt because they would put cat pictures up on walls and they would just oogle at them. And we're doing that on Facebook still. And the point being is like this, anyways, getting to it, the guy, so there was this video that surfaced like years and years and years ago. And he was the one who did the one lunatic and one ice pick video. But he originally did a video where he had 2 kittens and he was vacuum sealing them in a bag live on a video and then posted it. And of course, people instantly hopped on. Long story short, internet searching and a little bit detective work by some people, Humane Society and stuff like that. Because obviously I've never seen this video and I have no intention of wanting to. I don't do animals. Like, not that dark videos are good to watch anyways, but the point being is like animals, like that's something I can't stomach. And he did kill them. Then he put them in his fridge or whatever. Really upset a lot of people, obviously, so people started doing detective work, finding this guy, and long story short, they got on his trail, but he had, like, planned this whole thing out, and he was trying to get himself notoriety, because he was, like, a failed porn star and a failed model, and he would make sock puppet accounts and social media profiles, if you will, and would follow himself, trying to talk him up, like, rumors, making up about himself. This guy was just trying to become famous, and he couldn't, and, so one lunatic, one ice pick is a guy he brought home, and the stupid fuck got filmed on all of his video cameras the security cameras, the CCTV stuff, going through his apartment complex. And they only realized that after that guy was killed, but that was put up again. People recognized him as the cat killer. And I mean, like that video, I actually did manage to see part of that, and that was just, I had to turn it off because obviously, there's cannibalism and all sorts of other disturbing acts that I'm not going to mention on this.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
But you saw that at what age?
Had to be somewhere between the ages of 12 and 16. I saw a lot of fucked up things between those ages. There was another serial killer video from Russia where they had this guy.
The guy with are you talking about 2 murders, hammer or whatever?
Yeah, where they were beating the dude's face in.
He was like a homeless guy in the woods and shit, and dude, the internet's a funny place because they talk about how like none of this can get out, and then somehow these videos go viral. It's like, and they're not paying attention to any of it at times. Like, and it's almost alarming. Like, did you hear about the Ronnie McNutt video? The ex-army, he was a soldier or something in some branch. I believe he was Army, and he pretty much live streamed a video for 6 minutes, I guess, threatening to kill himself and everything. And I found out about this video through that guy, Plagued Moth. And the guy was sitting there, live streaming, pretty much implying that he was going to kill himself. And then someone called him. He's like, "Oh, now you want to talk?" Hangs up the phone. And he just hangs up and says, "Guys, I guess that's it." Puts a rifle muzzle under his chin and just pulls the trigger. I mean, like, Plagued Moth said it best. The only way I can describe this image is like unzipping a watermelon. Like it's pretty crucial. But doing a little more digging on it, I found out that so that video never got taken down after it got reported. Even the cops that showed up on the scene themselves didn't turn off the video for like a good 2 minutes while they were in the apartment with this guy. And I mean, in my opinion, it was very clear this guy was dead. Okay, like there was nothing left up there to imply he might still be alive. But you see the first cop come in, he sees the camera. Now, past that point, I did get queasy, and I had to turn off the video. I didn't want to see anything else, because he also had this dog that was in the background, really confused what was going on, obviously, and that just kind of, like, made me cringe up. I was like, But people reported this video to Facebook, and they said it did not violate their terms of service and kept it up, and that's why it's still so widespread. I mean, people
That
are
is
Even if they took it down later, like so many people have already gonna put it somewhere else. Like it's impossible to take stuff like that back down.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. How long it stayed up, people can screen record that, and it keeps going around. Like it's pretty prevalent on TikTok still. Actually, people will like have it as, oh, look how to make this awesome meal, or like start out with something typical, and you know, as soon as like they stitch the video and it's just like the scene where he shoots himself pretty much, and kids are getting exposed to that kind of crap, dude. And like that's not the only kind of video kids are getting exposed to, but it's just more like what is the goal there? Why are you doing that? Why would you risk a child seeing this? Like, that's traumatizing for people to watch as is, let alone the people that watched it happen when it happened live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then Mark Zuckerberg wants to put all the kids in one place online in a new app for kids under 13. Like,
Sketchy.
okay.
Yeah, because that can't go south. So,
In
yeah,
so many ways.
Zuckerberg's going to zuck himself.
I think he already did.
Yeah, he's definitely an alien. He doesn't look like Data from fucking Star Trek to you guys.
Nah, that bitch on some Kyle XY
No,
shit.
no.
He doesn't have a
it's
belly button.
Androids are designed to replicate human behavior. Like, he's, like, definitely foreign to the concept.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, yeah, I don't know. Facebook's even a funny place now. Like, that's really the one social media site but I use prevalently, but that's because I actually know people on there, and I try to keep up, like, and, you know, see how they're doing and stuff in life. But other than that, like, I hardly use Snapchat. I don't really use any other social media. I use Reddit and
pretty
Instagram,
much,
but
like-
Instagram is just, like, again, to, like, just look at a bunch of cool shit, artsy shit people put up.
Yeah.
Kwame, your forehead smiles.
My forehead smiles.
Yeah, raise your eyebrows.
Oh.
See? You see the smile at the top? But anyways, Joe, what about you?
Me?
What have you been getting into?
Watching TV.
What you
Pretty
been
much
watching?
Me and Christina watched, like, all the Marvel stuff over again.
Seriously, in 1 week?
Like, all of the Disney Plus stuff.
Oh, okay. For a second, I was like, isn't that like
WandaVision
27 movies or something? How the
Yeah,
fuck did you do that in a single week?
We could actually probably manage that with no problem.
Is she in school right now, or
Yeah, but she only goes to school 2 days a week.
is that like the whole terms for fuck your county right now?
Oh, yeah, she's going to Culpeper now.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you're technically in Culpeper County now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because like you're on that
That's a trip,
line of
you're, like,
Amosville.
right there.
Huh?
Yeah. That's just a trip to think about how you're just like right there. So
Yeah,
Did you guys see the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I haven't seen it yet.
I need to watch it. Honestly.
Oh, damn, guys.
Is it intense?
It's like that.
The episode before the finale ends with him getting a suitcase from Bucky that came from Wakanda. And when we watched it, me and Christina were like, oh, new suit, new suit, new suit, new suit.
Did I say when the next season is going to drop?
No, they haven't, but
It's probably in the works to see how people responded to it. But you would think with anything they do that's Marvel, they're going to know it's going to be a hit.
But it's going to be a different show. It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
they already made a movie out of that?
That's what Christina said.
Well, I mean, you would think if something has something to do with the
explain
movie.
to her, it's the second one. It's Captain America, Winter Soldier, not and.
Okay. Because for a second, I was just like, well, wouldn't you think that's going to take place in the same kind of setting that the movie did? Like, and I'm going to be 100% real. I'm not a fan of Captain America.
You're not a fan of Captain America?
Nah, it's like, I don't know. It's something about him. It's kind of like with Iron Man. Like, I love Iron Man, Tony Stark as a character. I cannot stand their movies. Maybe that's because I have one specific traumatizing go to the movies with you and Corey back in the day.
I forced you guys to go to the Iron Man movies because
What was it,
like,
Iron Man
I
2 we
love
were seeing?
Iron Man.
It was like 2009 Iron Man 2 or something.
I think so.
I got to tell Kwame this story
Yes,
because I don't know if he's ever heard it. So, one, we're driving in Joe's mom's old broke down minivan, which we were the coolest motherfuckers driving a minivan at the time.
most definitely.
But we pick up Corey and Joe's like, let's go see Iron Man. I didn't like the first one too much, but I'm like, I'll give the second one a try. Why not? Movies with my buds. So we go to a 7-Eleven and Corey comes out with a fucking Four Loko in his pocket. I was like, Okay, it's like right on, I guess. And we go to the movies, and I was like, yeah, leave that in the car, though, all right? He's like, yeah, man. We're walking in. I see this big-ass can of Four Loko in his fucking cargo pant pocket on the side. I was like, what's going on here, mister? I thought we were going to leave that in the car. And he just goes, you don't think I got this to fucking play with it, do you? So, to be a good friend, I got him a straw because I'm like, might as well get drunk. See, at the time, I'd never really drank before at this point, so, like, I didn't think much of it. Corey got fucking wasted, bro.
Oh, dude.
Like, it was bad. Like,
yeah.
Corey, if you're listening to this, sorry to put you on blast. I love you, homie. But you were a fucking asshole that day.
Smacking Rodney.
Yeah,
throwing
dude,
popcorn on him.
Dude, he was putting popcorn kernels in his mouth.
Being loud.
Like, out at the crowd and shit. Like, he was being obnoxious. And eventually I was just like, Corey, shut up. You're being too loud. And he went, shut the fuck up, and just started punching me. Jesus. And Joe got all pissy with us. I was like, dude, I fucking told him to knock it off. And Joe looks, he's like, hey, Corey, you gotta calm down, man. He's like, oh, all right, man, I'm sorry. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just for real, just like instant chill. Like,
Oh my god.
It's like, so that really just shows you Corey just liked like trolling me constantly because he was fucking good at it. But Joe tells him to stop. He's like, oh man, you're right. I'm sorry. What am I thinking here? It's like, I've been fucking telling you to shut the hell up for like 25 minutes, dude. But yeah, I think that ruined the movie for me because I was just getting too pissed off at him during it.
You're like, man, fuck you and fuck this movie.
I would have done that had I drove, but the problem was Joe drove, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
getting a
you
ride
bombs.
home." Because, like, I remember we went like 20 miles to see that fucking movie.
and then Corey literally like had to like lean on you all the way out.
Yeah, that was a good time. Good time.
You brilliant bastard.
I've been that for a lot of my friends when they're too drunk. It just seems that I'm always letting them wrap their arm around me so they can get hurt or wander off somewhere and cause more mischief. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch.
Good old stories.
Hey,
Good
man,
old
I love them
stories.
all. I love them all. They crack me up.
Speaking about movie theaters, though, they closed the one in Manassas.
Wait, did they? Like,
Really?
closed
The
it,
one off
or?
60, yeah, the one off 66.
So that means when everyone goes back to the movie theater,
It's gonna
be
be-
super crowded again.
Yep.
Oh, shit. So, wait, the one off 66 was closed down going through Manassas, like, permanently?
Yeah, like that. From what I've
Oh.
heard, they've closed that down permanently. We had to go all the way to Centerville to watch Demon Slayer last night.
They
Is
might
it
open
is
up
it
later.
RPX opened up right now, though?
I don't remember. I have no idea. It was Cinemax is what we went to.
What's the rules like with social distancing right now?
2 chairs apart. So if you
You
have
got to wear your mask inside, too.
like as far as I know, you do, but it's not like they have anybody coming through. They were weird because it was like, oh yeah, we check your temperature. It's like nobody checked our fucking temperature. Nobody fucking checked shit. They say they wipe the chairs down. I hope they wipe the chairs down. If they
I
don't wipe
highly doubt that.
yeah.
I'm just going to be realistic. No offense to any movie theater, but like I saw a picture someone took on Snap recently of some guy at Taco Bell cleaning one of the tables with the fucking mop he's using to mop the floor. So,
That's gross.
sometimes it's either
does
you're not
that?
doing what you say you're doing or you're doing a lot more than you should be doing. And it's just like, I hope he was using Fabuloso or something because at least it smelled pretty afterwards. Because, like, dude, I would not, like, who does that?
Yeah. Just mopped up some dog shit. Good thing I'm using Fabuloso.
Yeah,
'cause-
it's
Oh.
don't
Keep the
help.
table
Just
clean,
don't
too.
help. Just fucking take a picture of it. Why don't you? It's just like leave it up for grabs for the next person to get fucking like some type of disease
Yeah.
from that nasty water.
Oh God. But it's funny thinking about people getting intoxicated at movie theaters. The first time I ever saw beer being served at a movie theater, I think was when I was like 24. Not to age myself, but I think
Where was it at?
I think it was it Centerville?
Was it one of those Alamo
Could've been
ones?
I think it was an Alamo.
The ones that like serve you meals and stuff
Yeah.
too, if you want.
Oh
Mm.
man,
Well, that's
that used to
pretty-
be the shit.
I've never been.
yeah,
And we
that's
got
like
one
the
maybe
up in
like 20 minutes
Winchester,
from here.
yeah.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
They're really awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
we-
like
We wanted to go before COVID happened and everything, but we rarely went out to see movies as is already. So, like, but then that happens. But it's like, I have been interested in trying that out.
well, they released the new Mortal Kombat.
I heard, but is
It's in
RPX
theaters,
open?
too?
It's in
Oh,
theaters.
Yeah, it's
and
in
on
theaters.
HBO though.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing with a lot of
F that,
movies.
I'm just gonna
That's what
watch
they
it in
did with.
4K in my freaking the comfort of my own home. I hated movie theaters to begin with.
Wait, so you have HBO
Like,
Max?
Oh my goodness. Oh no, I'll just get it.
Well, I'm coming over. Let me know when.
Oh okay.
I want to watch
Yeah.
Godzilla versus King Kong. You bitch.
Oh yeah, I want
shit.
to watch that too. There's actually a whole bunch of stuff. I think I can actually like use an email and get like a 15-day.
That would be interesting. What if you got
I'm
to
a
sign
bum,
up?
by the way. Like I totally use like 100 emails and just use the free trials.
He literally makes 4 emails for each email he makes just to make different passwords for that email.
I mean, that
Whoa.
sounds awesome.
Emailception.
Emailception.
How's that feel, Joe? Admitting that. Are you feeling guilty anymore, or do you have a weight lifted off your chest?
Oh nah, I'm too poor to care about that.
My brain hurts thinking of all the different ways that you can make an email with the same word, but in different combinations of letters.
Dude,
and
I think I
numbers.
have maybe 3, and like one's a business account for the podcast and stuff when I talk with people regarding subjects for it. The other 2, I think one I just used because I had to get back into an old Facebook like about a year ago. I
Yeah.
had to send a picture of my ID to prove who I was and everything, but like they let me back in after about a week. And I only got back into that email, but for some reason I've been getting emails for it. And it's like, I'm not sure where they're coming from, but I always check it every now and then, just be like, oh, wonder if there's anything interesting. Because my main account is just flooded with fucking spam, dude.
Yeah.
Because, you use your email for anything.
Go
And you're
figure. Rodney winds up with spam. Yeah, mine too. But like, it's not even funny. It's
What's your guy's most embarrassing email name that you can remember?
oh, I mean, freaking. I've always used Manic Jester. Like, I've never been embarrassed of that screen name. Like, and besides that, dude, like, I use like initials and a name and numbers for
Simple
mine.
stuff.
Like, yeah, it's, I don't overthink it. It's
I remember my first email, short stack 91, no C. So,
not
So-
bad, not terrible, not great.
So it wasn't terrible, but I think the most embarrassing one I ever did was like something along the lines of like I love her 2169 or whatever.
Just as your email?
Yeah.
That sounds like a password.
It was also a username. It's like early YouTube days when I got an account and I posted some random videos, and one I think I ripped off the end of Paranormal Activity 2, and at the time, YouTube wasn't like blowing up and popping like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got a fair amount of views on that video, and a lot of people were fucking pissed off at me. A lot of people were pissed sitting there saying you bitch ass F word and shit. Like they were just saying all sorts of terrible things. It's just like, I mean, it had to be clear from the thumbnail. It was like a troll video because it was me like grabbing some dude in the dark, slamming against the wall, and he just has this big stupid smile on.
Yeah.
So they had to realize like this wasn't part of the movie, but they clicked it, and you know what? I thank them for it. That's my most viewed YouTube video I ever had.
The troll video
Sounds
wins.
about right,
for-
Rodney.
Yeah.
Dude, you were like the biggest Paranormal Activity fanboy. Like, you're
Ah.
obsessed with that.
Dude, I still am in a way.
I get it. It's freaking. I was watching some video about movies from the 2000s. I didn't realize that movie was like 15 years old already.
Yeah, it was when did it it was 2 years. Yeah, it was
2008?
yeah, it came out in 2009 in theaters, like October of that
Okay.
year. But me and Corey watched it online, and we found out that like it was the original version that was played at Sundance, and then they got a movie deal off of it to go to Paramount and put it on the big screen. Except Steven Spielberg actually rewrote the end for them originally. Katie was like in a daze or like a trance for like 2 days, and the cops came in, and like when they shined the light on her face, like any of the movies, she snapped out and she came at him with a knife and shit. Because after she stabbed the dude at the end, she'd been rocking for 2 days, and they came in, shined the light on her, and she went out with the knife trying to ask for help, and they fucking shot her. And then Steven Spielberg is like, it'd be scarier. Have some heavy fucking dragging footsteps go up the stairs, and in the midst of the dark, have them stop and just have a body fly at the camera. And then once the camera falls, the person who threw it standing in the light. And it was so beautiful. But both ends scared me equally as bad.
That
And
sounds insane.
there was
Like,
a
it's
third
like-
ending where she slit her throat in front of the
Oh.
camera after she killed him.
Damn.
Mm.
She just came back up without him and the knife, and she closes the door and locks it, stands in. So, they had a couple good endings to it. That movie was like, you know,
Spoiler
that's still
alert for all the people who are behind on 15-year-old movies.
Yeah. I really hope I didn't just ruin that for anybody, but I feel like you should have seen it by now because that movie, in my opinion, was really good. The rest were, I mean, like it was.
How dare you say the rest were when that Spanish one was pretty fucking intense?
I was gonna say the marked ones was my favorite out of all of them, besides the first one. The rest of them, I mean, like there were some interesting concepts going on with them, but they weren't the first one, dude. The first one scared the shit out of me. Like for real, I had Corey stand outside the door while I was taking a piss.
Gee.
Katie's gonna come and cut my off.
It was, I was like, oh god, there's a demon. Because the scariest part of that movie is like it was terrifying, but then I realized at the end, it's like there was nothing in that movie. We saw nothing. It was rated R for fucking language, okay? And I was like, okay, so that just made it more terrifying. When Corey was in the bathroom, I was standing with every light on to the fucking kitchen, staring at the bathroom door through the hallway. I was washing dishes, and I was staring at the door because I refused to take my eyes off of it. Like, that movie actually petrified me, and I think that's why I loved it so much, because I was like, that was the most realistic, scary movie I'd seen till that point, because there was nothing in that movie that was just too outlandish to fucking like imagine, because there was nothing to be seen. You just saw shit happening the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, shit, if you compare that to Amityville Horror and other horror movies that are based off of true events, like that movie was so realistic because it's like that shit could have actually happened to somebody who was possessed and gone through some. Nobody's gonna set up cameras like that and be like, "Oh, my wife's probably possessed, so we go watch."
Well, I mean, that's like a big thing.
No,
I mean, that's a big thing. Why I feel the genre is really dying. And like, dude, I mean, I can tell you, I've seen easily over 50 found footage movies. You know, some indie, some big screen. But the point being is like, there's always just that concept of, why are you still fucking filming? Now there's a couple movies where they're like film no matter what. It's like they got one crazy person leading the room. It's like, you film no matter fucking what. I'll bite your fingertips off.
Right, where they make like a big deal out of making sure that it's being filmed. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, this is gonna be gold. This is gonna be everything. It's like, look, I'm sorry, but if some shit pops off like it does in these fucking movies, I'm throwing that camera as a self-defense coping mechanism in that moment.
Straight
and
up.
it's like, and you're gonna be lucky to retrieve the camera because I'm gonna start throwing rocks or whatever's around me next.
Oh, Rodney, I'm a little disappointed in you.
Why?
I would film some pretty brutal stuff before deciding to run away. Like, it would have to be drastic, like earth-shattering shit for me to like.
Joe, I
actually drop
pushed
a
my
camera.
ex-girlfriend in front of me when their fucking AC unit came on in the garage one time. Okay,
Yeah,
so you need to
they're
understand.
alive still, and that's what counts.
No, dude, it was so bad because she like screamed because I screamed too in the middle of it. I somehow got behind her. No, it was horrible. Dude, like it's sad because like I'm into so much horror stuff, but it's like I'm the biggest scaredy cat anyone will ever meet, and like this is just a living testament to it. Like talking about Paranormal Activity. Oh, that movie fucked me up, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. And there have been some movies like one movie I haven't rewatched because it actually fucked with me, like just from the imagery and stuff in it, was what's that movie called? Hereditary.
Never even heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't got a chance.
It's that
to watch
Ari
it.
Aster movie, right?
I think so.
It's the same guy who did like Midsommar and stuff. It was for the trailers. It was that girl who like did the click thing with her tongue, and they made. Anyways, that movie, like, it was fucking phenomenal, but like, after like the movie finally like was over and you really took in everything that happened, I was like, I can't watch that movie again. It's not even that scary. It's just psychologically damaging, I feel like. And like Kristen even told me, I told her at one point, it's like, you know what, I'm ready to watch it. And she's like, you're not bringing that movie here. I was like, what? She's like, that's like bringing a fucking Ouija board in the house. She's like, you're not bringing it. Like, that's how bad that, like,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I get that.
it was
but, like,
definitely like what it was proclaimed as when they were promoting it before it came out was it's the Exorcist of this generation. And it definitely like has a lasting impact. I feel like it was a good movie, but it's just really, really disturbing
But is it
imagery
from
and
like
shit.
the quality or is it just shock value?
Dude, I don't even know. I mean, it is quality.
That's my
It's
problem
real.
with the
Well,
kind
you
of
gotta think
horror
of
movie
you gotta think of the
thing, you
director too, Ari Aster. I mean, the dude did what was it, Black Swan. He did Midsummer. Like he Mother. He makes just like fucked up movies.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Well, I don't know if Mother actually was him, but that was the guy who did Requiem for a Dream. Maybe we're talking about the same guy. I get him confused, but
It's like I like movies just like they can be silly. It's like with the remake of The Evil Dead. is like they totally changed the premise of it.
Are you
like,
talking about the remake from 2013 or the series on Stars?
The remake of the movie in 2013, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't try to like encapsulate the like silly, unsettling horror of the originals. It tries to just go with shock and gore value unnecessarily.
Yeah, and I will be
like having to cut off your hand and have it come alive and attack you is already terrifying enough. Like, but like they do like all sorts of just like gross, intense stuff that's completely unnecessary. You know?
Yeah,
like,
but that's what made it like that's what cemented it into its position. Like it went from a B film, which it still is technically a B film, it's just a classic now because that was terrifying to people at the time. Like that was a scary fucking movie. Even Stephen King was like, this is a fantastic movie and stuff. And when they got the okay from Stephen King, it was pretty much like that. I think that's what set them up really good. But all that aside, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, as you know. I mean, I have the fucking stills from an actual reel from the movie over there in a glass case. Like, nice. I love the Evil Dead. I didn't like the remake, and it's like,
it just didn't hit the same.
Yeah,
me.
and
like, I get why people go to see like a horror movie, like, but there's different kinds, like suspense and gory and stuff like that. Like, it can be a combination of both, but some rely heavily on one or the other.
Well, like, don't get me wrong either. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it for what it is, because it's definitely a good movie, because it's directed by Sam Raimi still and everything. And what it is that they said that's the movie they wanted to make when they originally made it, but they didn't have the budget, or, obviously we hadn't advanced that far in special effects. But to know he did another version of what he wanted originally to be and how they worked around that, like, is actually really cool, because you're seeing the whole spectrum of what they wanted to do. And one's, like, actually a terrifying movie.
Yeah, which is cool.
And the other one is just, like, one of the greatest, because all that stop-motion rotting and all those cheesy effects. It's literally the Three Stooges meets horror, dude. At least it was once Evil Dead 2 came around, for real.
And it's, we look at it now, and it's just completely silly. But, like, if you're sitting in front of a window in the middle of the night watching that movie, it's still probably gonna be just as scary as the brutal, gory one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. All I know is that it makes me want to go out to a cabin in the woods to spend a relaxing week with my friends.
Yeah, no, we totally should.
In the woods.
We were actually, when we were looking for houses, there was a really nice house out here in Front Royal. I forget where. Nope, just gave away where we are. Hi, everybody. But
welcome
come
to
and visit.
Fro.
We got bears.
We're up on the mountain, and we have bears who love apples. Oh man, but what was I getting at? I don't know. I have a bad memory. Can't do that a lot. Oh yeah, we were gonna buy a really nice cabin that actually looked like the Evil Dead cabin from the movies, and that's part of why I wanted it. But it was literally in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude. And it's like it was real nice inside and everything, but I was just like, I don't exactly want to live that far in the middle of nowhere, because when we start hearing banjos in the night, all I got is a can of bear mace.
Yeah, welcome to the murder house, Rodney.
Oh, the murder house. Cabin in the Woods did a really good take on that kind of twist
in the
too.
Woods was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was really not what I expected it to be when that came out.
And it's like, yeah, no.
I remember someone explaining it to me as it's the government fucking with them the whole time. I was like, what the hell does that even mean? So I went and saw it, and dude, like, they just exexecuted that so beautifully.
I think I went and saw that with you, actually.
It's possible.
I don't know.
Because when that come out, like 2013, 2012? I want to say 2013.
Yeah, maybe a little before that.
Something like that. All I know is I really relate with that one guy who looks like Shaggy in that movie.
The dude that's the only woke one the whole time, where everybody else is freaking out, and then they're just like pheromones.
Yeah. I remember when he finds the camera or whatever, and they're like, this is not good. And he just, I'm on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
My parents are going to think I'm such a burnout, because, like, the dude's been smoking weed, like, through that whole movie and stuff. And it's like, when he originally came up, he had this huge bong. They're like, you're not going to be smoking that with you on the way. And he, like, collapses the bong into a coffee mug and stuff. He's like, a bong? What are you, high? Like, it had some of that good, cheesy, like, 90s, cheesy, early 2000s quality stuff to it. Like, I loved it. Especially, like, the little gags in there, like, when they're talking with the actors who are working with them, and they're like, am I on speakerphone? They all just start cracking up in the office, like, nah, Mordecai, you're fine. I love movies, man. They're so fantastic.
I could watch movies for days, dude.
I really could. We watched Dr. Sleep for the first time not too long ago. I'm not sure if I'd brought that up yet or not, but that was actually a fantastic movie.
No idea what that is, Rodney.
It's the sequel to The Shining about Danny growing up dealing with the traumas of what he went through at the Overlook.
Oh, shit.
It's fantastic. Ewan McGregor plays Danny as a grown up, so it's pretty good. It is a 3-hour movie, but definitely a great movie. Like, I'm kind of sad I hopped on that bandwagon a little late seeing it, but that's how I do most movies.
Yeah, me too. It's like I'm gonna like hear it from you and then be like, oh, I'll watch that in a month or two, maybe.
What's the most recent movies you guys have watched?
Oh, no, I just said it. Demon Slayer, Mugen Train. It was fucking fantastic.
What the hell is Demon Slayer? Isn't that the game from Grandma's Boy?
No.
Oh, that's Eternal Death Slayer 3. Never mind.
You knew what it was, Rodney.
Oh, man. Hey, you can't kill me for being clueless.
Yeah.
But what is it?
It's an anime. So, manga, anime, and then movie that branches into the next season of the anime. And so sadly it was ruined for me already, or spoilered. It wasn't ruined because god damn it, I love that movie. It was fantastic last night, but there was a big spoiler for it. Definitely felt a little different seeing it on the big screen, especially knowing that it was supposed to be the transition into the next season. And like most movies in anime, when they're branched off of an actual like series, usually don't keep the anime going. Mm-hmm. It's usually just a whole B story.
Sort of like a alternate reality type thing where like it fits somewhere into the story of it, but it doesn't technically affect the story of whatever TV show's going on.
So it was a big shock to like hear that this was coming out to be like just the branching story from season 1 to season 2, which is coming out later this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting.
That makes me excited for it.
I was going to say that definitely gives you a lot to watch with what they've already. Like, that's a really cool way or a cool concept of doing that. I actually think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super, and it brings fans together, which unfortunately...
It's been a couple years since it came out anyway.
Mm-hmm. Came out 2019,
I think?
Yeah, 2019. So, yeah, it's basically just like all the fans are able to come together to watch this deep-ass movie. And not to be a big spoiler, but spoiler alert, it's not a happy ending.
Well, you can spoil it all you want.
That makes sense.
Because
it's fucking Demon Slayer.
I don't like anime.
Nobody's going to watch it besides you and me, Kwame. I'm not even going to watch it probably for another year.
It comes out streaming services in June.
Well, I'm just not even that big into anime to begin with. Not to like hate on it, but
now that it's, harder to stream.
I don't know, dude. Like, I just don't like anime, and I feel bad because I have so many friends that love it. It's not that I have anything against it. It makes me uncomfortable watching it, like the sharp-edged, like, kind of animations they do. And let me explain this just to give you, like, guys, a better idea of a pie graph in my mind. So, remember how scary John Wayne Gacy looked with the clown makeup on and stuff because he had pointed ends and eye makeup and stuff? And he, it was one of those things where it was kind of actually more terrifying, only... scary clowns would do that kind of thing because it was like a whole element of psychological shit going to it. Like the rounded off edges, like Ronald McDonald and stuff, those were like happy clowns, whereas the evil ones had pointed edges. So
like horns.
And it's kind of like that with me with anime because it's like the kind of anime I could get down with. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. I could watch the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, no.
And that hardly classifies as an anime. It's like a bastardization of anime.
It's
but
American cartoons.
Yeah, but that's kind of like it was rounded off and kind of bubbly and, just silly humor as a kid. And it's like I was able to do that, whereas anime was just like on a whole another tier where I couldn't watch Dragon Ball Z. I love the video games. I love all the video games. And like I know a lot about the story. I just have never watched the show. Strictly because I just find it unsettling to watch it. Like, it's just something I can't get over. But I have gotten into 2, and it's High School of the Dead and Corpse Party. I love
Yeah.
those two animes.
I love how you love the darkest one, some of the darkest ones, but but I can't get with the because it's like a scary demon clown, you know. But I love the death.
I love the suicides of those kids in that school and the Corpse Party. It's so just
When that girl went to take a piss and then just got hung by like the demon fucking chick that came in, and then her friend comes in and finds her dead fucking body swinging in a stall.
that's
like,
exactly
such
the
a
one that
dark-
fucked me up.
Yeah, it's such a fucking dark scene. Corpse Party is one of the most fucked up anime ever.
I love it though because it's like a scary movie, something I've been into before, and it's like
Yeah.
I love it because of the storyline. It's like High School of the Dead. I really loved when that originally dropped on Netflix back in like 2013, the American dubbed one.
Yeah.
Because that was actually something I could kind of get behind because the zombie craze was still at a really high peak at the time. Because look at Walking Dead; had been out for how many years at that point, and
Yeah.
maybe
Only a couple of years. It was still, zombies were still just the thing.
yeah,
then,
like they had a very very like potent presence in pop culture, like they always have in a way, but like it became part of the mainstream pop culture, and like that's one of those things. Like at the time, like when I watched it, that was really good, but. Other than that, I can't get behind anime too much. Not to bash on it again, of course, because I know I loved Yu-Gi-Oh too as a kid.
Yeah.
And I liked a little
get
bit
it,
of
though,
Pokemon,
because
but
like older anime styles, you do that shit by hand. It's hard, so you make it simple. Some animes seem flat, not very artistically creative, more storytelling mechanism than actual visual entertainment. But with just computer drawn animation and just advances, like the art style, like Demon Slayer is a weird kind of has a bunch of cringy themes to it. But the animation style, the artwork, everything about it's just beautiful. Like, and like the voice acting, everything just comes together and makes it epic. Which is one thing I noticed watching something that was dubbed is just like how much it's English dubs lose like the feeling, the emotion of the scene when they're dubbed.
Yeah.
because they are pretty intense with the
Yeah.
voice acting, so we definitely like we fail that miserably when we dub it. I feel like
My favorite thing about Demon Slayer and a few anime like it, kind of like My Hero Academia and anime in that group, is the human condition that they focus on in the anime. Like, if it wasn't for the focus of the human condition, it would feel like another Dragon Ball Z, which Dragon Ball Z I fucking loved, but it didn't have as much of the human condition in it because we're following a story of aliens, right? Like, we're following a story of a bunch of supermen that literally are just
can go
trying,
half monkey.
yeah, and fighting against this fucking power that's supposed to just be able to, on a whim, destroy a whole planet, right? Like, we're looking at this simplistic ass overpowered story that everybody loves because it's a simplistic ass overpowered story, but it doesn't have the human condition other than, oh my god, you're gonna die, this is so sad, but then, oh look, we can wish you back to life. Demon Slayer, like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, like things along those lines. When someone dies, they're dead. Like, there's no, you're gonna come back. They feel that pain and they go through it with you. Like, step by step, you see the stages of grief that the characters go through. The emotional connection that I have with Tanjiro, without knowing this fucker because he's an animated character, like,
You
takes
built
me
a
to another
relationship
goddamn
with
level.
this character.
Like,
It's like
just-
people who watch The Sopranos and built a relationship with fucking Tony Soprano.
Yeah, things like, yeah, exactly.
Like you really just like I feel it's like, Mom, I made a new friend today. A real one or an anime character? Anime character.
No, I totally get it. I don't know. Like, I can relate to book characters a whole lot better, but I get the whole being able to relate to like a fictional character. Like,
No. I can definitely get behind that for real.
That's that's the attraction to anime for me, at least. Not just the human condition, but like the fact that this story can be told that just relates to, like, you know, stories that you can hear or you can read in a book, stories that are portrayed in live action shows. You know, a lot of people kind of felt weird about Parasite Maxim. If you watch Parasite Maxim, that's a
I haven't had a chance to.
oh my god, that's a trip of a fucking anime. It's aliens rain down from the sky that are literally like just little parasites that burrow into people, take their brains and turn them into people-eating monsters.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Very simple.
Very simple, very attractive concept.
The fact that the main character, he sees the parasite because he's insomniac. He's an insomniac, and the parasite hits him and starts burrowing through his arm, and he tourniquets his hand off so that the parasite doesn't crawl all the way up to his brain. And by the time that he wakes up, his right hand has a mouth, eyes, and is just looking at him like, "You fucker, you ruined me.
That's
I
some
just
Ash
wanted your
versus Evil
brain."
Dead shit there, right there.
That shit right there.
Like, or you get bit by a dead ice and, like, you get, like, a face on you or a little body inside. It's just like, nah, fuck you. It's just like, that's what this sounds like. But it also sounds like
that shit off.
It sounds like a mix of chainsaw time. It sounds like a mix of the Mummy too, because the way they burrow and they go up and the guy's trying to cut it off. That's like what they did in the Mummy, where the one scarab beetle got under his brother-in-law or whatever, and he like fucking took a knife to cut it out and fling him. Because the last guy, it crunched through his skull and started like scrambling his brain. And he ran into that wall in a crazy fucking like panic and fucking killed himself.
Fucking Mummy, man.
Oh God, well,
movie.
yeah, it's a great movie. I actually just got the 4-disc special for $13 recently, and it's like,
nice.
I'm so going into that today with Chris. We are watching all of them. But anyways,
that was definitely one of the like best action adventure movies of our generation.
oh dude, it totally
growing up.
was, and they definitely did an
so
awesome
good.
spin on like the old monster movie concept.
And it's the 4-disc.
Yeah, so it's
there's 3 of
it's the
them,
Mummy,
and
the
then
Mummy
the remake.
Returns, the Emperor King, and then it has the Scorpion King because it was like a branch off. So it's like
nah. But there's also like 4 Scorpion King movies at this point.
yeah, but I think they only put the one in that mattered.
None of them mattered.
Kind of. A little bit. Well, either way, we're about the end of our run today. Guys, got any closing thoughts or confused confessions?
CGI Rock Johnson was awful.
Oh, God, and there was a time we thought it wasn't.
Yeah, I can't even stop thinking about it now, Rodney.
Like, kids who bitch about CGI today have not watched when he showed up in The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
Like, that was... Oh, boy. What about you, Kwame? Any confused confessions or closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Should have processed this beforehand. You know what? I guess my only closing thought, going back to scary looking animations and stuff. Well, why does my mom have a fascination with antiques? It's been a recent thing, and she has all these creepy ass paintings, and she bought this creepy fucking painting of this guy with like this most sinister grin on his face that's like squeezing grapes into like these little wine bottles that are off of like a trail. So it's like he squeezes these grapes, and then it turns into like a little river of flowing grape juice that floats into these bottles. And you would think like, oh, you know, that's a pretty fancy painting, until you realize the lighting that the fucking artist tried to portray is that undertone light where it's like the sinister fucking smile. So the dude's just like sinister ass, like, and as he squeezes these grapes, and it's like, bro, what is your intention?
People from the past are creepy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were painting pictures of women laying on beds and like little baby angels spreading their butts, and they were farting bubbles out and stuff. Like, you know, they had a really interesting way of portraying what they saw, and I only wish we understood a lot more of it.
Oh man, Rodney.
Yeah, and my only confused confession is, why haven't we just acknowledged and accepted that aliens exist already and are among us? They're interdimensional. Because going to space and like saying, oh, there's no aliens like out here and there's no aliens on Earth is like getting a spoonful of water from the ocean saying, oh, there's no sharks in this water because there's none in my spoon.
You know, it's even crazier thinking about the fact that we've had world leaders come out and say aliens are real, and people are just kind of like, cool.
Liar. That's pretty much the way people are going about it, dude. I mean, our government has just like released how many videos at this point? Grant, it's nothing like you see in movie shows, anything like they try to portray in that.
There was a recent one with an aircraft carrier.
The naval ship or whatever.
Yeah.
I did hear
it was
about
an
that.
aircraft carrier, like Definitely not something you want an unidentified flying object flying around.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. All I'm getting at is everyone just accept aliens exist, and we will dive deeper into this possibly next week. Let us know what you think.
I don't need to want to believe, Rodney. I believe.
Do you still believe in the reptilians, Joe?
Oh, completely.
Oh, completely. Lisa, if you're listening, we'll get on to this next time for you. All right, guys. This is about the end of our run today. As always, I'm Roddy.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Kwame.
And we'll catch you next week.